this Monday night. It is August 12th, 2025 at 12:51, and I decided to go live and do an Antstream playthrough. I don't know how much longer I have this, and I also don't know if I'm going to subscribe to this subscription. I like it, but I feel like there could be a lot more stuff on here, and I feel like they don't update as much as they should. But we're going to take a look at a bunch of games that I either like or have never heard of and just see what it's all about. I'm going to try my best here to play through some games that I'm really good at. I'm going to start off with just a bunch on here. Let's do, you know what, let's do Rolling Thunder. This is, I believe, the arcade version, yes. Um, this is a great game, by the way. If you don't know Rolling Thunder, this is a Bandai Namco game. It is a shooting game. Basically, you're a guy who is out to rescue his girlfriend or bride or whatever. Now, this game came out in the arcades originally in 1987. This was a huge game back in the day. Then it came to the Nintendo Entertainment System. I don't remember the year. It might have been the year after, or 89 or something. I used to have the NES version. Still a solid game. They made sequels. The second one did get an arcade release as well, as long as the Genesis one, which got a follow-up called Rolling Thunder 3, only released on the Genesis, I believe. Never got an arcade release. I really like this game, and we're going to check it out. So here's the first game on here. The load times aren't too bad. There are some delays on some of these games, you'll notice, and you know this runs off of your Wi-Fi, so luckily I'm hardwired in through Ethernet, so I should be alright. Like, you might notice a little bit of a delay or slowdown. It might look like it a little bit. By the way, if you're wondering, I'm playing on a brand new monitor, gaming monitor, that I actually got from Goodwill the other day. This is a Skeptor, I guess that's how you pronounce it. Yes, I was at the thrift store shopping, you know. I had to take off that day because I had to go get my root canal taken a look at. That had to get fixed. And I had nothing else to do after, so I said, let me go to the thrift store. I went over to the Goodwill, and lo and behold, there was a gaming monitor just chilling out there. $10. I was just like, when I first saw it, I was kind of hesitant, going, oh, okay. But then I saw the HDMI on it, and I was like, ooh. So I plugged it in, it turned on, and I said, no, I'm taking this home. This is a hell of a deal for $10. And lo and behold, I took it home and hooked up my Switch, and I got my very first win on Fortnite of the season. So I was like, alright, this is great. Because the season just came out for that, by the way. And after that, I was like, yep, I'm setting this bad boy up, and that's what I'm using right now. It's not small, it's not too big. It's not too big either. It's just the right size. I like it. I think it runs great. I don't know how old it is because I couldn't find a date on it. I'm gonna say 2015 maybe. Whoa. But see, I'm not sure yet. I know it's not super old, that's a fact. Because it has the HDMI and it has audio hookup, so. Dude, I'm freaking stuck. What is going on here? I'm gonna have to take that hit. That's never happened to me before. Alright, let's try this again. So, I was happy with that. Because I have a TV and I use it to game on, but it's a TV that wasn't mine, it was actually my stepdad's, and see, we all live in the same house, so he gave it to me for one Christmas. He got a new TV, and I got the Samsung TV that he had for like 10 years at the time, which I believe the TV's from like 2010 or something, 2011. It had HDMI. It still even has like RGA and RCA and all that. And it's a great TV, but when you're playing a PS5 and a Switch too, you're going to want a nice monitor. Now, this isn't no like $500 monitor, but still, it's pretty good. Like, I'd take this over an old 10-year-old TV. And don't get me wrong, I love the old TVs. I'm a retro, I'm a retro collector, so. But now that I have this, I'm probably going to go out and get HDMI for my Genesis. I could be able to play my collection because I've got like over 200 Genesis games and I have yet to play them because I'm just don't have the time to keep, hooking up the old TV to play them. So I can play them on this in high def. You gotta come out of there? No, you're not. Okay. All right, here's the. Whoa. Jeez. All right. I think we got a checkpoint here. See, what it is this is running off of a streaming thing. It's not terrible, but there is a bit of delay. I play, like me and my buddy, we've tried Zookeeper on here. I love Zookeeper. That's a Taito game where you have to get all the animals into the like brick enclosement. And what you really want to do is you want to get them in there, but you also want to get a bunch of them, and you want to try to jump over them. What to play Zookeeper, and I'll have to teach you how to play Zookeeper. Ah, that was horrible. Well, there's Rolling Thunder. I can get through this game, I can tell you that much, but we could always. I have to run this. We could always come back to that. So you just go out of here and you just quit the game, and there you go. Do I have Zookeeper? Let's see if I can get Zookeeper up here. Now, Zookeeper sucks on this. I can tell you that much. There's a delay for Zookeeper. But I will try to play this game and teach you how to play it, like, as best as I can, because I do know this game well, and I do love this game. I used to play this on the the first Taito collection on PS2 I had this for, and I remember playing this a ton of this back in the day. So, the premise of Zookeeper is you basically want to... Now watch, this is like they're showing you what to do. Well, here, I'll show you what to do. All right. So you want to, as you can see, you want to get all the animals in there, but really you want to just rank up the points. You don't even want to get them in there. I mean, you do, but you get... Okay, when the lions come... Okay, so let's tell you that. All right, so I have to do this and just keep going around. Now what you want to do is you want to get the meat cleaver. Wait, what? Hold on, let me try that again. Let me go back. Sorry about that. That was horrible. I mean, y'all saw me get that. I got the meat cleaver. Or no, that's actually the net. I'm sorry. I don't know why I call it the meat cleaver. It's the net to catch them. You don't kill them, you catch them. All right, let's try this again. You all saw me catch that. Yeah, that's never happened. All right, so now we do this. Go here. All right, so now we get the net and we keep them in there. So now we just want to do this, basically. Get the bone up. There you go. Now you'll get more points for having them trapped in there. You can see there is definitely a delay in this. Especially when I'm turning that corner. But sometimes when you're like, when you're like me, you kind of just learn the crap factor. Here we go, here we go. Alright, so now what you want to do here is you're rescuing your girl. And you're just going to climb up here, try to dodge the coconuts, get that. And there you go. That part's not too bad, but it's basically this part here. So I'm telling you, there's that stupid delay. If there was delay, see, it only happens when you're turning. And I have a modded Xbox that has this arcade game in it, and it runs fine. This is a streaming service. I can't run this. I wish we could get a proper title collector with Zookeeper on it. Because I would love to be able to play a near perfect arcade version of this. But that's probably not going to happen. There we go. Look at that. Watch this. There we go. See, now watch this. There's the meat cleaver. All right, we got some of them in there. All right, now we're going to do this again. Climb up. Ah, he got me. See, I always sometimes screw that up. It's not really hard. If you can dodge the coconuts, it's really easy. All right, there we go. Now this is where it gets tricky. This one, I've actually gotten a little bit better. So you got to dodge basically these, and you want to keep going back like this, and then you want to pull forward. So you're going to want to jump over these, go back, do it again, and like that, and like that. Ah! I always get that, and I got one time I don't get it. Are you freaking kidding me? All right, and the second part. Jump over to 3, jump over to 1. There you go. And you get an extra life for that, so. It can be done, it's annoying. Later on, it gets even more tougher. Now it's going to get harder. Later on, there's like 3 of them you got to deal with. I get the net catcher, Okay, let's catch all these and put them in there. God. I got some of them in there, but... Wow. Nice. Okay. Where's the other strawberry gonna hit? Hey, I got it this time. Cool. There we go. So this is the part with the lion. If you can get the lions in it, you can get 30,000 points. So you definitely wanna get the lions. They're worth more. So when the net comes up, you wanna get that. Ah! Yeah, I know. It just, the delay is just, it's hard to play this with this stupid delay. Oh, here's a big one. Yeah, that's it. Crap. That was fun. But, that's Zookeeper. It is a fun game. If you can find a actually proper working version of Zookeeper, it's worth playing. I have played it at an arcade once recently, and when I was playing it, I was just like, man, this is awesome. So, I'm gonna come back in another part and do more later. But I just wanted to start a stream and try out a few things. I only tried out 2 games, unfortunately. But I will be back either later on or tomorrow night with probably another stream. We're going to play a lot more games because there's a lot more on here. I will say this, that for the price you pay, you think they'd give you a lot more stuff on here. And I'll say this, Pac-Man's on here, Bubble Bobble, Galaga, Space Invaders, all the early arcade games that came out on those things, they're all there. Which is fine, but I just wish there was a lot more games on here. I guess it all comes down to the rights of certain companies not being able to get them. Like, you don't see a whole lot of Capcom stuff on here. You know? You see a lot of Taito and, you definitely see a ton of Data East on here. Like, this has a lot of Data East games, which is fine, because Data East, isn't a company anymore. It's a lot of, like, companies that aren't around anymore. And there's some first-party stuff in there. Like, Aladdin's on here, but that's not a... I guess, no, because the Capcom and Aladdin's on here, and so is Goof Troop. I don't know, but there's a lot of stuff in here, as you can see. I'm just going through real quick. And you can search things up. This is not everything. You can find more stuff. There's old PC games on here, too. The original version of Pong is on here, Joe and Mac. Aladdin, that's the Super Nintendo. But they use the Genesis box art. I don't know why. Lion King, this is the NES version. Bubble Bobble, probably the arcade. I think when they have these, yeah, those are the arcade. There's a 2600 game in there. Never heard of that game. Love Randstar. That's the arcade version. I have played it on the Genesis. Rastan. Or to say Rasta. There's more here, as you can see. This is like shooting. So you can type in a specific thing and you'll get a whole bunch of games, like stuff you never heard. Like there's Battlezone. I remember Battlezone. Never played the C64 version or the Atari 8-bit version, so I'm curious what that's like. Now that's cool. Bloody Wolf. I actually have played that. I used to own that on the TurboGrafx. It's a fun game. It's a shoot 'em. It reminds you of Akari Warriors a bit. It's pretty good. Have played that. It's okay. Centipede's cool. Um, the fact that there's multiple versions of that game, I never knew that because that was I'm pretty sure that's an NES game, but it doesn't even have the NES version, which is oddly weird. I don't know why. Yeah, like these are all just shooters. Like like they're the Genesis game. What is that, Granada? That's a great game. Another cool game. Super Nintendo. And here's Gunbird. That's awesome. Like Granada's great. Great Genesis game, you know. Gotta check that one out. Heavy Barrel's a cool game. That's the arcade version. The NES one's not too bad either. I have played it, and I've actually beaten Heavy Barrel before on NES. Life Force, don't know what that is. Loaded's a cool game, but that's Loaded's on here. That's a PlayStation game. That's cool. Loaded's cool. Midnight Resistance, but they don't have the Genesis version. They have the Amiga version. I didn't even know it was on the Amiga. Um, just going through Operation Wolf the arcade. Operation Thunderbolt's cool. That's the follow-up sequel. That's much better. A much better game. R-Type's awesome. They have both R-Type 1 and 2, and they're both the arcade version. Super Xevious is cool too. I like the Xevious game. Sky Kid's okay. I played the NES version. Um, Sly Spy is awesome, man. By the way, that's like a James Bond game. That's a Data East game, by the way, and it's actually, I believe, on the Data East collection, which is on Wii. There's the arcade version of Star Wars, which my first experience with that was on the Rebel Assault game, or not Rebel Assault, Rogue Squadron GameCube game when you could unlock it, and that was the first time I ever played that game, and I actually loved that game. I never played the sequels. Well, I actually have recently played the sequels, but another great game is the Striker series. There's not 45, 40, whatever, and then 99. Those are great. The Star Wars Super Nintendo games are great. All three are there. Super Noah's Ark is a Doom clone. I believe the Chaos Engine is, I don't remember, but it's a game of something. I forget what it is, but I do remember there's a sequel. I did not know that. For the Amiga. There's two Amiga versions. I wonder why. Oh, single player and multiplayer. That's cool. The Plague. I never even heard of that. Who Dares Win Something too? There's Yours Revenge. I played that. I have played that on the plug and play back in the day. Never played the action. Love Xevious. There, like I said, Zero Tolerance is a game you should check out. It's a first person shooter on the Genesis. There's not many Genesis first person shooters. That's the only one, and maybe Corporation is a first person game, I think. From it's Corporation. It's either Virgin or Core that made. I think Core made Corporation. That's, I believe, a first person type game. But that's that. I'll have to check out more of this because, like I said, I'm getting off here to go do other things. But I just wanted to quickly play through this, and as you can see, there's new games added. But it seems like they don't add a lot of new games on here. Like this one here, Alien Breed, that's been there already for a while now. I can tell you that. And what is that? Spectrum Games. Software Star with some guy on there that looks like he's, no idea, Horizon Shift. I like Worms World Parties, but that's also already on the PlayStation 5 that I can download. So yeah. So I will. Oh, here we go. I can show you some of these. That's the arcade version. Arcade version. Arcade version. That's a great game, by the way. Growl. Arcade one's good too. I like the Genesis one. Played that a lot. Thunder Fox is pretty cool. I've actually played the Genesis version and arcade version. Thunder Fox is very similar to Rolling Thunder, but you can't go into like. Actually, no. Thunder Fox is like that one game, which I can't think of the name of it, but you know, I will the next time we're in here and we're talking. There's some more games, some really cool ones are on there. Tough Enough's okay. It's a cool game. Those are just fighting games. Pinball, role playing. Cool Genesis game. Exile's also really cool. I do not own that, unfortunately, and I don't own Arcus Odyssey because they're kind of expensive. They're not like, I'll put it this way, they're not like over $200 expensive, but they're up there in price for a clean mint copy. So me ever finding that one's gonna be like a needle in a haystack. Not that I couldn't find it. I already own Lion King. That's the SNES version. Though. I don't have a SNES. I haven't gotten to collecting SNES yet because I'm just not ready. There's the Genesis version of Aladdin. It's one of the first few games I ever bought actually, and it was from a convention. And it's a clean copy. Like this one has everything. I bought a clean copy of that game because I love Aladdin. It's just a great game. The Genesis version music was, I believe, done by Tommy Tallarico, and Virgin Games did it. Originally, the game was going to be developed by Blue Sky, who did Vector Man, but they saw the work and they were not impressed, to say the least. They were like, all right, this is not what we wanted. So they asked Virgin, and Virgin took over, and none of Blue Sky's work got put into the game. Also, when they redid the game, Disney handled the animation, and well, as you can see, when Disney takes over a game, usually the game is pretty damn awesome. That's the truth. Like that animation for back in the day was just crazy. And ever since then, Disney has always asked Virgin to make a lot of their games, and they always make quality games. That one's really good. Toy Story was done by Traveler's Tale. Still a great game and impressive for the time, especially that level when you're inside the claw machine and you're rescuing the aliens. That's pretty cool. Like the Super Nintendo had that, but it was boring and not that impressive. And they had an extra level on the Genesis one that the Super Nintendo one didn't have. So it's an awesome game. Lion King's good, but we'll get into that more later. So thank you guys, and I hope you enjoyed. Catch you later.